Good morning and welcome to another episode of RoadFS Detail Memoirs, where every week we get to meet with some of the most amazing men and women in the automotive detailing industry. And this week, man, we got Ronald Colombo of All Star Mobile Detailing. My name's Jody.
And I'm Rod Pusey. And as always, we're sponsored by RoadFS. Please go out and support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel so that we can continue to have these funded and have you guys come on and we can highlight your businesses and make everything just free for you guys to do.
Yeah, so we're really excited. So this is actually round two. If you guys caught us last week, we had Ronald Colombo, but Jody, of course, didn't have all of the audio in check, and so you could only hear me. So we're doing round two. So we appreciate Ronald meeting with us to share his story. And Ronald, it's interesting, and I'm going to say this again because when I posted the promo for you, the only person that had the same level of excitement and interest was Jennifer Turcott. So you're in really good company.
Not bad, not bad.
That's that's good, man. And you're pretty fun to watch both on Instagram and Facebook because you really are focused on not only detailing, but you're really focused on building a business. And I think that's what people are really drawn to you because you're such a good neighbor in the community and you're always trying to really help everybody elevate their business. So let's start off with how did you get into detailing?
Sure, yeah. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, that's just who I am. So, yeah, what got me in here is, what, 4.5, no, 5 years ago, I would say. I pretty much made the transition from leaving a full-time job of 10 plus years to venturing out in the detailing industry and leaving that and starting a business. So yeah, it just took a right turn.
So was that right turn? Was that what led up to that? Because I think a lot of times, in fact, I was talking to a gentleman just last week, and he's like, "Man, I'm at the point where I want to take the leap, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to take the leap, but I have everything lined up." And so, how did you make the decision to jump?
Yeah, so it's not as easy as it sounds. A leap. It is a lot involved, depending on how much. Everyone's situation is going to be different. I do come across people who are like, they're in a different area of business and ask the same question. At the end of the day, there's no right time. You call the shot. It's up to you. I mean, it's not greener on the other side of the fence. It's It really isn't. It's just you want to take a different direction. You can calculate. In my case, I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna be starting my business and leaving everything, that's gonna be in the winter, and I'm doing it mobily. You can already imagine, and I'm in Boston, so New England weather, and you're like, what? Why would the odds are up against you? No, and I knew all the negative things that I was up against, but like I said, there's no right time. It was just for me, it made sense, and if I could put some of those negatives that people talk about kind of aside and just F it and deal with it, and if you can get through that, man, it's the motivation. You just gotta want it.
Right. We actually are very similar. When we started our company, we started in the middle of 2009, right at the worst part of the economy. And we said the same thing. We talked to each other and we said, if we can survive in this, we'll make it in the good times.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's yeah. I hear you.
Well, I like what you said because I think a lot of times, as people are starting to make the leap, they think everything's greener on the other side, and what in actuality is when you make the leap, there's a lot more work than you anticipated. I mean, I think about our original business plans, and they were blown out of the water within 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's something, right? You're right. You know, it's not greener. Um, take, it's leading me down something. So it's like to get greener, you make the greener. I mean, you know, like if you want that, like it's on you. It's just not gonna magically be like it's better to be a business owner because it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, because not only do you have to do your job and be good at what you do when you first start, you also have to run a business. And if you've never done that before, there's a lot of people that are lacking in that. Jody and I were doing a presentation yesterday for the Mobile Tech Expo, the virtual education series, and just talking about business processes. And so talk about some of the things that you've had to overcome in your amount of time you've been in business. I mean, taking on employees, going mobile, trying to make the decision between a shop and being mobile. I mean, talk about that stuff.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, I wanted, if I'm taking this risk, I said, you know, well, here's how I'm going to do it, sort of say, but I did have a lot of help, sort of like a mentor when it comes to this. And that was Jonah at Detailpreneurs. He was already in the business 3 years. So I'm here, you know, getting my feet wet, but I was already studying sort of what he had going on. He had vans on the road. So I said, okay, mobile's going to be it over shop. So that decision was kind of made since I'm following kind of what my mentor is doing. So I'm like, okay, that's the route. And, you know, he already had a lot of systems set up as far as how he's collecting payments. You know, his employees, he had employees shoot. I mean, I think it was probably 5 to 7 employees or so, 3 vans on the road. And I'm like, he seems to have the legitimacy. You know, we talked all the time. So having someone who can guide you, you know, is extremely helpful, especially someone in the industry, and he's been in now about 10 years or so. So that was very helpful in getting me set up. And then once you're set up, it's really like, again, back to how much you want it, because that's going to determine, you know, if you're going to actually set these systems up on your own. Are you going to do it after someone has already told you, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it? So you have to be a good learner. You have to be a student to the game.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's a good phrase, student to the game, because I think a lot of people come into a business, whether it's detailing or some other business, and they have a real passion for what they've done in the past, and they know how to do their craft, but they don't necessarily know how to do the business. And that's one of the things that I've really appreciated about you and Jonah Gomez, Detailpreneurs, Zaya. I mean, you guys not only focus on helping people fine tune their craft, but you're really trying to hone them in on building a business, being a true entrepreneur. Because really, at the end of the game, if you're going to be successful running your business, you have to be a student of owning a business.
Yeah.
Right on.
And one of the things is, I'm just going to share something we did this morning, is when we were trying to get a hold of you this morning, we called your number, your office answered. She answers very professional. She asks who you are. And it offers that, when you said it, the legitimacy. There's so many times there's a detailer and you'll call them on the phone and you'll be like, this is what you hear. And I know this is what you're going to see. They're in the middle, they're polishing. And yeah, what can I do for you? Hold on, you know what? I'm going to call you right back. That's not a professional business. That is a guy or a gal that's running and gunning and trying to do everything. You have to know when to hire somebody to do something.
Absolutely. I appreciate you saying that, because I'm gonna go back and let her know. You see how important that was of being set up right, and because that simple phone call that you took earlier, you know, here's what they had to say. I don't know. For me, things like that are motivating. You know, it's the little things. You're absolutely right. You know, you've gotten busier. If you want to scale, you need people. You need the right people. You got to understand, you know, what roles you need. You know, you don't just need to hire another this or that, but you got to have the right people. Yeah, and train them right. You know, train them right on the phone. Communicate. So, like you said, back to the whole running a business. It's not just detailing. That's what it's about. You need to wear many hats. You
I
know,
Yeah, I think you hit on something really important there is you need to hire for the correct role.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times we just go, "Oh, I need a body," but you need the right person for the right job, to enable you to scale. So, as you've expanded your team, I think now you're 3 or 4. Talk about how that has been a blessing but also a challenge as a business owner.
yeah, we're in total. Actually, we're about 5. Yeah, so including her. That's myself too, because I have myself on payroll. You know, but
Yep.
yeah, you need to. You know, at the end of the day, and so what's happened is that you go through a lot of people. You know, we are almost 5 years. I can't count the amount of people that I've hired. You know, they lasted a couple weeks. Some lasted, as far as a year, over a year. That was the longest person I had, a little over a year. And things. You saw some good months where it was giving me what I intended to do with the detailing. Like I wasn't going out on the field as much. I was able to work in my business, whereas I was doing that a lot in the first couple of years. So when you got help, it's great, man. Not help, no, the right help. You got to have the right help, and that's a challenge, man. Guys, that's a challenge in this industry. It's hard to find uh, good help. I don't even know the word, but like the right help, like in the right is tough because you need them to be good at. You're like it's just cleaning, but it's not if you're charging X dollars. So it's a tough task that we continue to battle with having the right people. And right now, the majority of our team is mostly family, to be honest. Because I mean, that's even a blessing because not all family members are going to be good. So you do what you need to do for your business. For me, it's like we have daily goals, and how am I going to hit those numbers? Is it going to be with Joe, Paul, Bob, or is it going to be with my brother-in-law, so and so? I mean, if the brother-in-law is better than that's what makes sense. I mean, everyone's on payroll, so I still try to keep it, keep everyone keep them responsible. We got a
Yeah.
task to do, and that's one of the things that we're continuing to try to make better in the industry is how do we make this a better place for people to have a lucrative job to enjoy it to some extent.
Yeah.
I think it's still a little
Yeah.
lacking there.
But I think the important part there is that everybody has that shared goal. And
Yeah,
I think that's what's important is that shared vision of what the company and what the vision is for that company. We do the same thing. We have daily meetings with our staff and with our team members, and they have a vested interest in our company. Several years ago, Jody and I made a decision, and went along with our other 2 partners, to invest back in our employees. And we have what we call a key employee program, and they actually own a percentage of the company if they've been here long enough. There's a time period, and then there's a unanimous vote by the other people that are in there, and they have to show that commitment to the company, and then they actually have a percentage of ownership in the company, and it turns people around that fast. They feel like an owner, they are an owner, and they share in that vision and the goal of what the company is going after.
nice. That's awesome. I'd like to see how I could get closer to maybe something like that. I thought about it on a, I guess, small scale, like thinking about IRAs because we're set
Yeah.
up with ADP.
Yeah.
So I had it for a little bit, but took it off. But yeah, no, nice. That's nice.
Yeah. And we do a lot of stuff where we go, when we were in the office pre-COVID, we had meals on Fridays, and we'd have team meetings where we bring in food, and Jody and I, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I mean, Jody and I go out and get, 11 million tacos and bring them in, and whatever. It's just so you can all sit around and have everybody talk about what's going on and have a say in what's happening.
Right.
So
Yeah.
speaking of COVID, how has COVID affected you as a business owner and your team?
Well, let's see. I mean, right. Everything has its pros and cons, right? And for us, I guess the cons is too much business. And you need to be careful, right? Things are just at a high level, but yeah. So you're dealing with, like, the good thing is that business is continuing. For us, we did close down at the beginning for a few weeks just to see what the deal is and what we need to do. And from then till now, I mean, we haven't learned too much besides numbers going up and down, right? But we also purchased some surface sanitizing products. So we got a couple extra products in here: masks, gloves, social distancing with our customers, which for us is easy because having a system, you can have their card on file. You can just let them know what, hey, when we're done with the detail, we don't, you don't have to see them. So we can continue to do our part. Just do a couple adjustments. The only thing that we can't kind of be 100%, or it's tough, is that you don't know if every person has been tested, if they have it or if they don't have it, if they're getting a cleaning because maybe they do have it and they don't say anything. Those are tricky areas, the gray areas where you can have as much conversation with the customer prior to getting out there to get everything you need, but and then you say, hey, did you test positive? I mean,
Yeah.
Here, let me do my own test.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us, for All Star Mobile Auto Detailing, what is the thing you guys focus on, like your key core group of services?
So we base our services. So I know right now there's a mix of detailing, ceramic coating going on. So we're doing a little bit of everything, but for the most part, we base it off of three services, which is the bronze, the silver, and the gold, right? And they all offer interior and exterior cleaning, just at different levels. And we find that has been working. And those packages have been, so we got packages. We like to base things off of our packages because then you can get an idea, of if they need something extra. So ceramic coating is just, we do it as well, but it's not the bulk of our business. It's more detailing services. We're doing headlights, engine bay, so it's an array of things. But yeah, that's the most of it is coming out to retail customers. But even our audience is a mix. We have some company vehicles that we're doing. We have some luxury properties that reach out to us. We're still hungry. We're still kind of, but as far as who the type of person is, it doesn't matter if it's a daily driver or a high-end vehicle. At the end of the day, we have our prices, and they're not the cheapest, they're not the most expensive, but they're right there, something that suits us.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you mentioned price, because I think a lot of times people struggle with price in either a big market or even a small market. And you set them at a level that you're like, you know what, this is where I want to be. I want to do business with you. This is what differentiates us, but this is our price. And I can tell that you're confident in that price. And I think a lot of people, they're kind of wishy-washy when it comes time to estimate and go, well, it should cost, and in the very tone, in the body language, they're like, oh, well, I can negotiate this down, right? And so they set themselves up for being nickel and dimed on their own product.
Yep, and it's happened. But you learn from it. It's always a learning process. If you're weak in an area and need to improve, you have to be vigilant about that and proactive and say, I got to work on that area. So I'm better at being able to stick up for my service and charge, because we do get people that are like, how much is it? You get that. People that around, but I got to a point where I'm comfortable and understand that not everyone's going to be our customer.
Yep. And I think that is a very, very wise thing when you actually internalize that, because it's no different in our industry, in the software industry. There's everybody that's trying to be the low, we cut our prices. And if you chase that, all you get is the person that's looking for the lowest price, and they're not necessarily your customer. we do the similar thing as you. We have our price, we set it. We may not be the cheapest in some areas, and we're not the most expensive, but we feel the value for our service is set up to handle the customers that we want to take on.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So now that you're 5 years into your business, 3 to 5 years into your business, what are some key components you think any business owner really needs to leverage to guarantee or help them build their success?
Yeah, so it's not going to be in any particular order here. I think it's just kind of just some things that I really think I'll highlight here. But definitely got to have motivation, willingness to learn. I mean, it's funny because you look for it in an employee, in a candidate, right? But you need it as well as a business owner.
Mm.
Organization. Um, those are three things there. I would say two other ones is knowing your worth. And finally, sticking to it, sticking to what you do. Training. Always looking to develop. To finish things off here, yeah, I think training is really a big part. You want to always. There's always things like we mentioned in the round one here is that you need to adapt. Like even now through COVID, as a detailer, if you think you know it all, then you probably came across this time that where you like, oh man, this that we were doing doesn't work. So you need to adapt, but you need to find who you're gonna get who the right source is for you. There's a lot of training that is going on right now, but you want to find the right sources, and that's part of what led to Detailpreneurs. The idea that we believe in continued knowledge and becoming better those are one of the areas it's going to come through. So talk to the right people. You don't think that you know it all because you watch 10 million YouTube videos. That's a stepping stone that can get you somewhere, but you don't need certifications, but they're not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a real key what you're talking about with the knowledge and the continuous ability to learn, because what happens is with COVID, and I saw a thing yesterday that was really hit home with me. We're not going to go back to normal, because what was normal wasn't normal. It's a continuous state of change. And if somebody was so entrenched and so dug in that, and I'm not knocking anybody that does this, I would love to do it too, but if your only business was ceramic coating Ferraris, you're hurting, because you've got to get out of that mindset and do different things. And you got to be able to adapt and constantly change and learn and move in a different direction. If there's a new process that comes out tomorrow and you're not willing to accept that process and move into it, then you're stuck. You're the railroad 40 years ago. So,
I think so.
So I know you're super busy and you're running off to continue building that empire. How do people in your neck of the woods find you? Because unfortunately, you're a little far of a drive from Boise, Idaho to have my boat detailed, but.
Yeah, so I mean, you can find me at All-Star Mobile Detailing. Our handle on IG is all_star_detail. But make sure you see this raindrop there, that droplet. That's the logo. That's another All-Star. But I'm also on the board of Detailpreneurs, so you can be on that platform. Every now and then I'll be popping in there, and that's Detailpreneurs. Just type it in the IG. We're on both Facebook and Instagram. So All-Star Mobile Detailing, type it in anywhere. We should come up. Because, I don't know, we're gaining some popularity, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's great. So please, guys, make sure you go check him out. I mean, he's got a phenomenal Instagram channel. He and Jonah are doing a phenomenal job with Detailpreneurs. I mean, if you're wanting some coaching, some advice, some just direction, I mean, these guys really, really do have it dialed in. And a lot of it is centered around personal development. So we encourage you to go out and connect with Ronald and his team. And Ronald, we just want to thank you for being part of the Detail Memoirs.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for having me on. I know you're always looking for, some good people, and pleasure meeting you. I know we've only been knowing each other for a little while, but it's nice to see. Joe and I, have talked like, man, they were pretty cool. After we met at Mobile Tech, but keep up the good. And we need stuff like this. Programs like yours is what helps. Detailers open their mind about what else there is that out there for us and how it can continue to improve what we're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Yep,
thank you so much. Yeah, it was really fun at Mobile Tech Expo. I mean, you guys threw a killer bowling party. I mean, it was awesome. So.
Yeah, the food and all that, it was kind of last minute, to be honest, but some things are like that, you just got to do it. And
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Fun.
So, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us. And we want to thank everybody that tunes in every week. I mean, we have a slew of episodes, both on our Facebook page, but also on YouTube. Go out. I think we have over 75 episodes now. I mean, it just continues to go, and it really is a plethora of experience and vendors and detailers. So please go out and subscribe and join us in part of the discussion, because it's really about helping all of us grow our business. And we just want to thank you guys. You have a fantastic week, and we will check you same time, same bat channel just next week. You guys have a great day.
Yep.
Ciao, guys.
See you later. Thanks.
See ya.